now this time we will be stretching its legs. Hello and welcome to Invictus Porsche. We've got this Porsche 718 GT4. And what are the things that make the 718 GT4 a lot more desirable than the previous generation, its predecessor, the Porsche 981 GT4? Well, there are quite numerous things, but before I can dive into this video, don't forget to subscribe, click like, and just want to say a massive thank you for watching our videos, because we earn money out of YouTube. You watching our videos, we donate that to a UK registered charity, and that money gets used on humanitarian projects in Afghanistan. So a massive thank you. Now the 718 GT4, I'll start it right from here. Would you believe it that this generation over its predecessor produces an extra 50% downforce? And that's because you've got a much more aggressive front bumper and that front splitter, and then you've got these little beautiful aerodynamic qualities to the side of the vehicle. And then if you walk all the way to the back of the car, this is where you get this much bigger, gigantic rear wing, this area there where, you know, you've got this sculpted in the bodywork of the vehicle to generate an extra bit of downforce. And above all, you've got a proper rear diffuser. Just look at the aggressive lines that run underneath there, and that kind of runs all the way to the underneath of the vehicle, so it's absolutely kind of airtight on the underneath and proper track car as you would want a GT4 to be, but at the same time quite subtle as well. And if somebody wants, they can absolutely daily this every single day, because this is the comfort spec. I'd like to continue on to covering what the mid-engine setup of this 718 GT4 is all about. Obviously, as you know, they were introduced in 2020. The mid-engine is now borrowed from, well, at the time, the new Porsche 911, the 992 Carrera 3-litre flat 6, which are turbocharged. And obviously, they've used that block from the 992 and they bought it out by an extra capacity of 1014 cc, and they have chucked the turbos out, and then you've got basically a brand new engine into the 718 GT4. Additionally, what you find here is a completely new suspension setup as well. So you've got the PSM, which is overall 30mm lowered from factory, and you've got the variable sports geometry setup, so you can vary it how you like. But this has the Porsche ceramic brakes, and in total this has somewhere between 20 to 30,000 pounds worth of extra additional spec items. And just to kind of quickly cover the spec items, you're probably wondering what color this is. This is finished in this gentian blue metallic, complemented with the 20-inch Michelin Pilot Cup Sport 2 alloys, which are finished in satin aurum. And I think it's an absolutely gorgeous color. And let me just invite you in to kind of show you how the interior has changed and what are sort of the key differences on the interior. One might think this is a rather similar setup and a similar place to what you would find in the 981 GT4, but subtle changes are things like you've got the GT Sport steering wheel, which is finished in Alcantara. You've got a shorter gear selector, which also has the short shift. That entertainment system has also been upgraded to having Apple CarPlay. You've got the carbon package in this, the Sport Seats Plus, which has got the contrast sort of silver white stitching carbon package, as I mentioned, Sports Chrono Plus, and even the Sports Chrono watch there has got this carbon look feel to the watch there. And the whole of this dash area is of course very different on this 718 GT4. It's so because it's kind of borrowed from the 718 Caymans, whereas on the 981 GT4s, it was a little bit more flatter. And of course, you've got the fire extinguisher as well as the yellow seat belts, which work really well having the PCCBs. And you've got these little annotated areas saying GT4 here, GT4 on the headrest. And I think it's about time that we actually fire this up and take it up for a spin. And let's hear what it sounds like. Seeing another Porsche on the road always gives me and puts a smile on my face. Seeing a 911, 997. Back to this 718 GT4. Now that we're on the inside, you know, if you want to be driving it to be comfortable, just enjoyable, and just doing what it's meant to do, which is to get you from A to B, you can. But if you want to wake up the beast, auto blip, sports exhaust turned on, and drop it again. As I said, one of the most amazing qualities, one of the numerous qualities that this Cayman GT4 has, is that long gear ratio between the first and that second gear. You can get up to about 85 miles per hour. It means you can have fun driving this. And let's cover what it sounds like. This has the 4-litre naturally aspirated flat 6 engine. I've already briefly covered the bhp this produces, the 4-litre naturally aspirated engine produces, which is 415 bhp, 420 newton meters of torque. But when you actually put this in real life context, it is a bucket load of fun. So if you want to be driving it in this way, in its true context and the nature it's designed for, you could. And boy oh boy, what a car it is. I don't think there are many cars out there that come anywhere close to this, because this by far is probably, in that price bracket, the best sports car out there. And for any car to get anywhere near this, you've got to be picking £250,000 McLarens, and you know, they come with their own reliability issues, so we stay far, well and clear from them, and hence why we specialize in the Porsches. So back to this, and you know, just everything else that it has to offer is the 6-speed manual paired with this amazing transmission, paired with this amazing 4-litre naturally aspirated engine. So yes, long gear ratios between first and second, but what I must say and what I must add is that the gear selector is incredibly short, a lot shorter than the 981 GT4, and this makes it very fun to actually just change gears and drop it a gear. And the fact, you know, the 6-speed manual transmission is a lot more precise and just does an overall much better job, and it's paired and complements the auto blip system just to perfection. And all in all, you get this perfect recipe for the absolutely perfect mid-engine GT4. And other things that massively enhance the overall feel of the 718 GT4 is the fact that it has a more improved PTV, the limited slip differential to the rear. And the suspension, the sport suspension, is the variable damper control system that it has, so you can set it and optimize it how you like. But you've also got the PSM button here as well. So by pressing it, the chassis sport is selected. You get a much firmer suspension feel, and it just becomes that bit more driver focused. And now this time we will be stretching its legs. I mean, this alone and the degree of control that you have in the 718 GT4. When you compare it to the 981 GT4, this is just on a different planet. It's in a different league. It's in a league of its own. And one of the things that contributes towards this is, of course, the 718 GT4, the extra 50% downforce is created by the more aggressive front bumper, front splitter, a proper rear diffuser, that massive wing at the back, and as I described, that rear bonnet and that area being sculpted into also generating that extra bit of downforce, all enables, despite this being an extra 30 kilograms heavier than the 981 GT4, enables this to drive like the way I've just driven it. And at no point do you feel a lack of uncertainty or a lack of assuredness at, you know, all this way from 1 mile to the speed that I shouldn't be speaking of. I'm approaching some of these bends at 60 odd miles, and it just is so tight. It holds the lines so exact, so precisely. And all this into an £85,000 Porsche. In terms of paperwork on this Porsche 718 GT4, this has had its first service, the running check that this normally needs on the October 2022 at 7 miles. And then subsequently, it's had its first service done in September 2022, because this was a 2020 plate car. And as you can see, that was done at 2,673 miles, and it's done about 8,000 miles. So the next service technically is due in September 2024. And this is the V5 from a new, it's got 3 former keepers, and the current keeper is Dr. Mohammed Haider. So he's from Billingham. It's been well maintained, kept in very good condition overall. And this is the spec list as well. As I've mentioned, it's got a lot of spec, and some of the spec items I probably forgot to mention. Things like the sports look footrest pedals, the CarPlay, Apple Link system. I did mention the CarPlay, I do remember it from memory. And other spec items are things like the Bi-Xenon Dynamic AHBA black headlights, the LED daytime running lights, the Sports Chrono Plus package, the Alcantara sports steering wheel, the Bose premium sound system. As mentioned, it's got the 6-cylinder 4-litre Boxer engine, and the 20-inch GT4 alloys. And the spec list basically continues into the 18-way electrically adjustable, the rear limited slip, the Porsche ceramic brakes, PASM. You get something like this, 30mm lowered from factory, the 6-speed manual transmission, the fire extinguisher, it says Porsche logo at the back is black, the carbon fiber package. Additionally, it's got other specky items such as the racing yellows, the racing yellow seat belts, the sports exhaust system, tailpipes finished in black. Additionally, the Alcantara shift lever, and this spec list essentially is just a lot more than that. Even the fuel cap is actually the upgraded fuel cap. So overall, well spec'd, kept in good condition, and it's just looking for a new home. And if you've got somebody that's got a part exchange that you'd like to discuss, pick up the phone or drop her a message with some photos of your part X, and I'm sure we can find a number that would be comfortable for both parties. So thank you very much for watching the video. See you next time. Bye-bye.